On the morning of November 24, 2025, when the clock just struck midnight, the Premier League rankings appeared like a perfect picture that any Gooner had dreamed of during sleepless nights. Arsenal was at the top with 28 points after exactly 12 rounds, 4 points more than Man City, 8 points more than Liverpool, a goal difference of plus 19 as beautiful as a declaration, only conceding 8 goals. Less than Inter Milan, who are dominating Serie A, less than Real Madrid, who are flying high in La Liga, and they did that with a squad that is no longer young Buffalo, but has matured into a real wolf pack. Victor Gyökeres, the £70 million contract from Sporting Lisbon, who was initially ridiculed as cheap Haaland, now has 11 goals and 6 assists, is leading the race for the Golden Boot with Haaland. Every time he rushes forward, the entire opposing defense trembles because of his speed, strength, and the way he finishes coldly like an assassin. Programmed, Bukayo Saka, the golden boy of the academy, now 24 years old and officially entering the legendary temple with 8 goals, 9 assists. Every time he dribbles, the whole Emirates stands raw. Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, like the old days when people sang the names of Henry and Pires. Martin Odegaard returned from an ankle injury and immediately turned the midfield into his own stage. 5 assists in the last 4 matches. His passes tearing apart the opponent's midfield like a painting. Kai Havertz, who was once called a waste of £75 million at Chelsea, is now the perfect false 9, winning 68% of aerial duels, scoring 7 goals, assisting 4, and becoming the fulcrum for the whole team to press high like in Klopp's peak. The defense is so goosebumps. William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes are the best central defender pair in Europe at the moment. No striker dares to dream of touching the ball in the 16m50 box when those two giants are there. David Raya keeps a clean sheet in 58% of his matches, the highest rate in the league, and Jeremy Frimpong, 50 million from Leverkusen, does not play as a defender but as a winger, 4 goals, 7 assists, turning Arsenal's right wing into a dead wing for all opponents. They have won 11 of their 13 away games since January 2025. A record that even the 2003-2004 Invincibles have never achieved. They crushed Man City 4-1 in the Community Shield. They took revenge on City with a 2-1 win at the Etihad. They turned Anfield into their own stage with a 3-1 win in October. And most importantly, in their remaining 26 games, they only have to face exactly 5 teams in the current top 8, while Man City have to play 9 death matches. Liverpool have to play 10. The schedule seems to be on the side of the most patient. What about those who used to scare us? Pep's Man City are having their toughest season since 2016. Rodri has been out with a cruciate ligament injury since September, missing until March next year, and City have lost 5 of their 9 games without him. Haaland has still scored 14 goals but accounts for 70% of the team's total goals, a deadly dependence. De Bruyne is 34 and has started less than 50% of the minutes. The Diaz-Akanji defense is leaky. Haaland has reportedly asked to leave in the summer of 2026 if there is no Champions League. Opta only gives City a 24.7% chance of winning the title, the lowest in a decade. Liverpool have fallen from heaven to hell. Last season's champion with 96 points now has only 20 points after 12 rounds. Alexander Isak £125 million officially became the most expensive bomb in history with 0 Premier League goals, an average of 17 touches per game, was substituted to booze at the City ground. Florian Wirtz £100 million is in hospital with no clear return date. Trent Alexander-Arnold has moved to Real Madrid. Salah, 33 years old, is negotiating £400,000 per week with Al Ittihad. Orn slot is called Klopp 0.5 and the hot seat is red. The probability of winning the championship is only 6.8%. Chelsea is really strong. Cole Palmer is playing like a Ballon d'Or candidate, but the Club World Cup schedule in December and the defense is still loose, making it impossible for them to go long-term. Newcastle, Villa, Forest are shocking, but no one is deep enough to compete for the title. I have been following Arsenal since 1998, cried when they lost 8-2 to Man United, despaired when Henry left, screamed when Van Persie wore red on the other side, was numb when City celebrated 4 times in a row, stayed up all night when they lost to Bayern in the Champions League quarter-finals last season. But this season is different. This season I feel the smell of the championship, the smell of domination, the smell of historical revenge. And I see it as clear as day. On May 24, 2026, at the Emirates Stadium, under a rain of red and white paper, Bukayo Saka will be the one to lift the Premier League trophy. Odegaard will cry, Arteta will hug Saliba, Gyökeres will shout in Portuguese, and millions of Gooners around the world will sing, North London forever, in tears, because finally, after 22 years of pain, after thousands of sleepless nights, after all the taunts of butlers, nearly men, Spurs with money, we are back on top, and this time forever. Arsenal will be champions, not because they were lucky, not because their opponents collapsed, but because they deserved it, because they waited long enough, and because the 2025-26 season was the season that had been written long ago, from the day they decided not to surrender anymore. North London is red, and this time forever.